fantastic presentations. It's tough to follow that, but I have the honor of closing this this evening in terms of talks, and then we can go to the more social part of the evening, which is great. So, my name is Franka. I am a communications and brand strategist for now around 17 years, and I'm managing director and co-founder of an agency called the Goodwins. And essentially this agency is my purpose, and I'm going to tell you a bit about my purpose journey towards this agency. So I'm going to talk a bit about my passion, my purpose. Because I'm a German introvert, I won't be talking a whole lot about success because that makes me uncomfortable. Instead, I will talk a bit about power that lies in all of us and where we direct this power. And initially, this power was what got me into the creative industry altogether. Because when I came to Berlin to study communications management. It was the heyday of Mad Men. Mad Men gave the entire creative and advertising industry a new uplift. It was glorious to work in advertising once again, reminding us all of the great 60s and 70s when advertising was cool. And what I was taught in university was this. Advertising is a 600 billion industry. Every day, virtually every human on the planet is touched and influenced by it on their phone, TV, radio, billboard, or computer. I'm reading this out because I'm not sure if everyone can read this, but it's important because it was what really attracted me, what somewhat intrigued me. Because essentially, what it boils down to is that advertising is arguably one of the biggest engines of societal change in existence. So, and I thought, wow, that's pretty amazing. I can be part of this amazing engine driving societal change. And then I started out working in different agencies in Berlin. And what this engine did was mostly to make people buy, to sell. And we sold more performance. We sold more experiences, go travel, see the world, fly cheap, fly cheaper, see more of the world. Go buy more deals, go get the discount, go get this cheap stuff. Get the latest styles, get the latest trends. You're only worth something if you can follow these trends, if you can be up to date, if you belong to a certain peer group who can afford to belong and who can show that they are in style. So that was the societal change that we were driving. And that was the engine that I was a part of. So gradually what sunk in was that advertising creates a desire for more by suggesting that you aren't good enough, you don't have enough until you buy a certain brand or product. So really that was a bit of a rude awakening. Because at the same time, what I think not only me, but mostly everyone in this room was also experiencing, it was really tough to ignore that with all of this, we all created more waste in the world. We all required more resources to produce all of the stuff that people want to buy. And we all contribute to an almost irreparable global damage. So essentially what it boils down to is more consumerism equals more emissions. And to be honest, I was never a hardcore eco person. I was just very passionate about the outdoors. I really enjoyed spending my free time hiking, climbing mountains, seeing the wildlife. That was what I enjoyed, and it gradually sunk in that what I was doing professionally, what I made my career, was actively destroying what I really like to do in my free time. And there is a KPI called advertised emissions. So that is the GHG emissions, so the Treibhausgase, that result from the uplift in sales generated by advertising. So it calculates the carbon footprint of every single additional product that is sold as a result of advertising. You can calculate it. The UK has these kind of calculations in place, and you can calculate the amount of emissions that are added for every single person by buying a product that has been advertised by a creative agency a production agency, or a media agency. And it's not just emissions, it's not just climate, it's even more that advertising is perpetuating. We are perpetuating gender stereotypes, and I think especially in this forum today, this is also important to mention. We are perpetuating sexism, we are perpetuating racism. There are studies in place that are proving that the way advertising still depicts the roles of women and certain ethnographic stereotypes is contributing to the entire social structure and how we perceive certain roles. So I could go on and on, but I don't want to bum everyone out. Instead, I want to take you on my purpose journey. So, and I had this awakening when I realized that the better I am at my job, the worse it is for everyone else. For the climate, for women, for people from different ethnographics. And I was really good at my job. That was the point. I enjoyed my job. I had really fun doing it. And I had to realize that if I want to keep doing it, it somehow doesn't align with my personal beliefs. And as we've heard from Katrin already today, when you realize that your personal passion doesn't really match with what you're doing on a day-to-day basis, and for hours on end, and weekends oftentimes, I think we all know that how hard and how long and intensively you're working in this industry, it's getting tougher and tougher for you to justify for yourselves, and you're getting into a real full-on existential crisis. So in my last agency, we were working for the Coca-Cola company, we were working for Nestle, we were working for the Axel Springer Verlag, we were working for big car companies. So yeah, and that's when I realized what I'm doing here every single day is really not what I want to do with my time, with my talent, and with my strategic power in the end. And I got a bit lucky. Because I realized at that point that this impact, my power that I'm investing every single day, it can go in different ways. I can use it to contribute to this kind of consumerism, to make these brands more successful, to help them to greenwash, to make people buy stuff they don't need. But then it should work the other way around, right? So I can use this power in a different direction to maybe make other brands successful that really should be successful in the world, and gradually maybe become more successful than the big bad ones. So I had been playing around with this thinking, and I was very aware that this is contradicting everything I learned in university about how capitalism works, how consumerism works. But again, I was a bit lucky because I met people who shared this disconnect and who shared this struggle with their own purpose. That was my creative managing director at that agency at the time, and he had similar concerns. So we got to talking, and this eventually resulted in the founding idea of the Goodwins. And we had this idea that you actually should have at least one agency who tries to put creative, strategic power, knowledge into the right direction of brands, products, services that really deserve to be successful in this world. And we knew that that sounded crazy because, again, it contradicted how advertising works, how capitalism works, but we thought it would be even more crazy to not at least try and do it. So this happened 5 years ago, so we are still here. Again, I'm not going to talk about success, but we're here, and I can maybe... But yeah, we are using the power of creativity to fight for the good in the world. Maybe just a few of the cases and a few of the things that you can actually do in terms of creativity, in terms of doing great creative work, but still maybe not contribute to the big global damage that we're doing. Fighting against tech waste, fighting for more second-hand and less resources in the world, fighting for regenerative energy, fighting against online hate, fighting for even more regenerative energy. We have a lot of energy clients because energy is such a big, an important driver for the environmental change. fighting for better ways of mobility. So they're our clients, and they are becoming more and more, and that's great to see, that you can actually direct creative and strategic power in the direction of companies and brands that really deserve to be successful and that are part of the transition to a world that is maybe still happy and healthy in a couple of years from now. So, yeah, I'm going to leave you with 4 takeaways from my purpose journey. First of all is, I know I'm quite privileged because not everyone can completely align their career and the things they do for 8 hours every day with their purpose. Catherine, for example, I think it's a great example to sometimes you have to split it, you have to go in the part-time model, you have to go do your job, which you hopefully like, and then you set a few weeks aside every year to follow your passion. In my case, yeah, I know I'm lucky, but I think still every one of us has this opportunity to direct their daily power, their daily drive into a better direction, a little bit at least. So, and one thing, I think we've heard this again today, a crisis is great. So, a crisis can be a great starting point to find your purpose, to really think about, why am I feeling so shitty? Why is this so hard? Why do I have to fight so hard to motivate myself to go to work today? Because you start thinking about, okay, maybe there is a disconnect, and maybe there's something that I really rather would want to do with my time. And for me, it was realizing that I somehow have a little eco-warrior inside me, and I want to help the world stay a bit more healthy and intact for future generations. And it's your decision to invest your power, your talent, your time in the direction of your purpose. So if you do not have the privilege, not every one of us can, I know, found a new agency from scratch, but you can challenge the ideas that you're given. And Marta made a good point in her last on one of your last slides, that advertising has a social responsibility, and I think every one of us can remind our clients of that, our agency managers of that. We can put that to work in our everyday life. But it helps to connect with people, it helps to have a gang, it helps to surround yourself with people who share your purpose and your passion, because the bigger your purpose is, the more people you will need to work towards it and to convince others that maybe there is another way, that it doesn't have to stay like this, and that, in our case, advertising doesn't have to continually just help the bad guys with the big money and the big budgets. And I'm going to leave you with one of my favorite quotes about purpose. It's by Dolly Parton. It's find out who you are and then do it on purpose. And I think, yeah, that's the amazing final words.